Welcome to the Abundant Vision Fundraising Podcast. Whether you are a seasoned professional or a first-time fundraiser, we have the advice you need to take your next step toward major gift mastery. I'm your host, Tom Dauber, President of Abundant Vision Philanthropic Consulting. In this week's episode, we talk once again with Curtis Eaton, AVP of Development at the University of Cincinnati. Curtis has so much to share with us, so let's jump back into the conversation. There's a number of questions I ask all my guests, and some of them are fun questions, some of them are not, but I think there's great learnings in all of them.
Yes.
I'd love to hear about the most awkward moment you've had with a donor.
Tom, there's been several, but I would say, for me, I'm a Black male, athletic build, and you don't know how many times I get asked about if I'm a football player on the UC football team. That's really awkward. I shrug it off, but it's I experience kind of some of those awkward moments a lot, but it goes to bias and things like that. But we brush it off and we keep it going. I played football back in the day in high school, but I haven't been a football player since.
I get that. Wow.
A few months as a redshirt freshman in college, but outside of that, that was it. So those things get a little awkward.
Yeah, I think when we make assumptions about folks, that isn't helpful. That isn't helpful. I think about a time, and my some of my heritage is Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish, and but when they came over, the last names change and all those sorts of things, and he ended up with a last name that probably sounded more Italian or Spanish than it did Jewish. And because he was Jewish, he was also his parents got into organized crime because they couldn't find jobs. And I'm relating this to someone, and we're in a part of Eastern Ohio, northern Eastern Ohio, that's probably a little bit more attuned to organized crime. I'll leave that name out, but anyway, and so the individual started talking with. He just assumed that we were like I said, Italian, and started talking to me about the Jews in his country club, and it was, again, making assumptions. And I wish I could say that I spoke up for myself or told him what for, but I didn't have the courage to do it in the moment.
Yeah.
And it can be really hard, I think, in my limited experience, and I want to just acknowledge it's limited.
Yeah.
To stand up for yourself when people are making inappropriate assumptions.
Yeah. It happens,
Yeah.
It happens, unfortunately. But
I'm curious, and if this is too on the nose, you let me know. But has there ever been a time where you've had to speak directly to a donor about their assumptions or inappropriate behaviors?
I have, Tom. Assumptions, perceptions, particularly around heightened times that we experience.
Yes.
In our country, and we're certainly in polarizing times. It's what I share with my team. We have to. We're at an institution of higher learning where we embrace all walks of life, all cultures, intellectual thought, free speech, etc. I mean, it's something that's personal and important to me. Our institution has kind of stood by anti-racist statements, etc. But we don't support that at our institution, and we don't want to accept money and philanthropic support at our institution for donors who outwardly feel that way and have these thoughts and perceptions.
Yeah.
So there's been a few moments, and I'm proud of those moments for standing up for myself and our team, our students, and I don't apologize for that. And so, yeah.
No, I think we need more of that in our profession and in this world, Curtis.
Absolutely.
So that's obviously a problem. There's lots of problems. I think that we need to address
Yeah.
in both the world and the profession, our communities. I'm curious, as a fundraiser,
Yes, sir.
what's one problem you ran up against that you wish you could have a do-over on? Could be with a donor, could be with anything. It's up to you.
Tom, you're not gonna like this, but I don't have one, man.
All right.
I
All
think
right.
everything's a part of the experience. I'm a faith guy, and I don't look back. I keep going. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
the athlete in me too,
Mm-hmm.
but I always think some of these experiences they sharpen you for the good. So I don't regret any of it. I take life
Mm-hmm.
as it comes, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Hey, that's a great attitude. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Now, tell me about a gift you've been part of closing that's been the most meaningful to you.
Yeah, I've had a long time, and you would think in our world we go after major principal gifts. And I think sometimes it's those gifts where you really get to know a donor. We had a donor who was really an active volunteer and very engaged with our Gen 1 program, with the first
Mm-hmm.
Gen 1 program in the
Mm-hmm.
nation. And we're proud about it. And we had a donor who was doing several years of annual giving, high volunteerism. And I was able to really get close to the donor and work with him to close his first major gift to support the program with more to come. I mean, the
Yeah.
kids come to his house, him and his wife's house. He comes to all the events, but he's a first generation student himself who went on to earn his PhD, who shares a story about how he was homeless and slept in his car, and to being a prolific researcher in the medicine field, and is now giving back to this institution and his alma mater
Hmm.
out in California. But it's personal to me. I was a first generation student and needed support, and so I'm always interested in the story. And
Tom Dauber here for Abundant Vision Academy. Are you a nonprofit leader who's new to fundraising? Are you feeling crushed by your fundraising goals and not sure how to find success? My online class, crafted from my 25 years of experience and more than 5,000 donor meetings, Abundant Vision Academy will give you the confidence and understanding you need to start building relationships with donors and having gift discussions in just 110 minutes. You'll get 14 videos covering all the topics you need to find success in fundraising. You can take it at your own pace and can watch as many times as you'd like. This is one of the best deals in fundraising continuing education you can get today. To make sure you get off to a strong start in 2024, I'm offering a 50% discount to anyone signing up for my course this spring. That's a $375 value. Enter the coupon code SPRING2024 at checkout to claim your 50% discount. That's SPRING 2024. Head on over to thomas-dauber-s-school.teachable.com and click on Abundant Vision Academy to get your discount today. The link is in the podcast description.
In the journey, and it's been a journey that we went on with this specific donor, and appreciate him so much for not only his time, but his talent and his treasure to support these students, and I think it's more to come. Yeah,
That sounds like a great gift.
yeah.
Well,
There's so many, Tom. There's so many,
yeah.
and I I love doing this work, and I get excited to do it every day because we're making an impact on the lives of our students. And,
Mm-hmm.
we're transforming them through the power of philanthropy, and that's an awesome feeling. And I always say this, Tom, is I didn't know that I was really going to pursue this field. I learned about it. I had a faculty member talk to me about this field, and in graduate school. And then I had mentors along the way that perhaps steered me to it, and I just embraced the opportunity. And I remember as a recruitment director in our engineering college, meeting with students and their families, and hearing about the struggles, the scholarship struggles, the man, not wanting to take out loans, etc. And you've seen a lot of tremendous talent, people who could have gotten accepted and thrived. And, it made me upset and angry sometimes that I couldn't play a role in, uh,
Right. Right.
in helping those students in that way. Right. And they say sometimes, you're most passionate about the things that get you fired up.
Oh yeah.
And so, it was those moments over and over again, meeting Dee Robinson, learning about fundraising. And it's crazy that things that frustrated me now fuel me to go out and do that work to impact lives, man. It's a wonderful field, and I'm glad that fundraising found me.
Right. Oh, I feel the same way, and I'll tell you, I didn't realize it until it was sort of thrust upon me. But this consulting thing I'm doing, it's the same sort of thing. We end up getting. I find myself interacting with organizations and nonprofit leaders, and I get just sorry, my dog is upset about something. Ranger, cut it out. I find myself getting so worked up when I see nonprofits, even universities that I support. I don't know, executing in ways that don't reflect best practices. Or, I think of one school that I was supporting, and they were talking about this gift they wanted, and
Hmm.
I just asked them one simple question, and it was like, oh, it was like, well, so who's going to spend this money if you get it?
Mm.
And now I know to ask that question because I've
Yeah.
seen I've seen what happens when you don't assign a person. But yeah, I have found myself in a place where I'm getting more and more passionate about trying to fix the profession of fundraising at a kind of a broader level and helping people do things in a better way. But I still resonate with what you're talking about of on a very micro scale, like
Yeah.
wanting to make a difference for this student. I mean, did you see the video of them announcing the $1 billion gift to Albert Einstein Medical College?
Yep. Yep.
Man,
Yep.
boy, you
Yeah.
wow, to
Formative.
have been in that room.
Transformative impact. It's
Yeah.
it's announcements like that. It's like Robert F. Smith, the wealthiest black man in
Right.
America, who does the big gift at Morehouse. Imagine being in that room
Yeah.
and you're celebrating graduation, but also in the back of your head, you're thinking about, man, how am I gonna, secure a good enough job? How am I gonna pay back this debt? And somebody comes up and gives a commencement speech and says, well, I'm wiping it away. Like, these things are truly transformational, and they're going to impact a ton of lives. And that's really the power of philanthropy.
Well, that's it. That's it. Yeah. I was talking with Jim Langley the other day on my podcast. That'll be hitting
Oh,
here in the near future. I don't know if you're familiar with
the
Jim.
legend, of
Yeah.
course.
He's quite the guy.
He graduated from UC. He's
Yeah, that's right. You'll be calling on him soon, won't you? Watch out, Jim. But no, he talks about the difference between charity and philanthropy, and it was so brilliant because like in my brain, I think I understood that, but I didn't know how to express it. And Jim just has this gift of being able to express things so eloquently.
yes, he's the
But
best in the business at that. Yeah,
but with philanthropy being the big picture stuff, the forward looking stuff versus the everyday thing. But we need more of that. We need more of large institutions like Cincinnati and others thinking creatively and thinking boldly about the future and inviting people to partner with them. And I'm excited for you. I'm especially being in arts and sciences. I
yeah,
mean, you've got everything in arts and
yeah.
sciences,
Yeah,
right?
natural sciences, social sciences, humanities. We're doing amazing work in AI, looking at the humanistic side of it,
Oh.
looking at sciences. We just opened up the Portman Center,
Hmm.
legendary center, Rob Portman, and we opened up the center in our SPIA department in ANS that talks about civil discourse. And so, can you imagine having Senator Portman and other global leaders and people in
Hmm.
politics discussing different issues from both sides of the house and how to come up with solutions. So it's wonderful. We get a chance to be a part of some great stuff.
Well, I having you on the team there, I'm excited for the direction that Cincinnati's going to continue going. I know that you're going to do a great job in leadership there. So excited too to see the direction that you end up going, Curtis, because I still continue to believe that there's just huge things ahead for you. You're already doing just wonderful things, and I count it a real privilege to have gotten to know you and to even to have you on the show today. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Tom. It's an absolute pleasure. I appreciate your kind words and so proud of the work that you're doing. It's transformative for our field and industry, man. Keep going.
Yes, sir. Will do. Will do. Now, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on your podcast provider. As always, I'm your host, Tom Dauber. Thank you for joining me as we journey together toward major gift mastery on the Abundant Vision Fundraising Podcast.